Hey guys, sup. I was going to actually end my stream, but then I realized I was being a dumbass and I actually had enough gems to get my that. So I just wanted to do this quick stream to show the change and see how much of a damage. Just like test a few things and see how much of a damage increase it is. Just real quick. So now what we have done is we have removed our aspect that makes us bleed, and we have taken the eldritch, the witch power that makes your eldritch effect bleed, poison, yada this one. So because my ulti is now considered an eldritch power, I want to make sure it bleeds. If it bleeds, I can take off that entire aspect and go for a more damage aspect. That's kind of the idea here. No, they aren't bleeding. Say it ain't fucking so. I guess it doesn't work. Because like once I use this, I then just have to become berserking, and now they are bleeding. Yeah, they're all bleeding. You can see the blood spurting out of them. So the bleed don't work, Saj. I don't know why it doesn't, but it doesn't. But one thing that should work is, where is it? Surely it's one of these. Eldritch effects. This one should work. Purging touch. That's the one, I think. So getting this to level 10 is a priority. Then let's do this. Let's replace the disappointment. No, it's not that one. Really? So, I mean, the buff isn't going to show, is it? I've equipped it, so it should show up. Where's my spirit? There. So he doesn't do damage unless he dies, right? But yeah, you can see this went there, whereas my ulti isn't proccing that. All right. So basically, anything that says, well, this should work. It specifies either or, but like clearly it's not working. Yeah, clearly it's not working. Touch. Okay, so a bunch of things I wanted to do with my ulti just straight up aren't working. I hear Purging Touch is working from someone in the PTR. I'll have to test it, I guess. Um, I don't think I have your growth and decay is more potent. I don't think I have that, sadly. So I would have tried it. What else is there? What else can I play around with? This is really disappointing. I was really hoping this would be my source of dropping that aspect so I could switch my aspect. And that way I would have more damage, but that sadly is not the case. So I assume for the purposes of Friend of the Bog, my ulti also doesn't count, which means I need at minimum 3 of these guys. Grow, soul harvest, and then at least something else. All right, what else is there? So we have Purging Touch that's going to give us like 40-something% increased damage, like a big damage multi. This doesn't say if it's an X or a plus, but I assume it's an X. Where is that Vaughn's source? Shaken Soul. That is so freaking disappointing. So it's not even applying vulnerable. It should apply vulnerable. Am I missing something? Is there a condition I'm not meeting? While you have an aura active, I have an aura active. Aura of Siphon is around me. While you have an aura active, your alt skills are also treated as this, this, and this. Deal 10x increased damage. Did the description change at all? Two mil base, I think. Yeah, it looks like it's 2 mil base. That is very disappointing. So I really have to test Shake Purging Touch to make sure. Okay. What else did I want to try out? Let me look at my build before I'm gonna end stream after I try out everything I want to try out. Toadlin's Wish was something I wanted to try out. So Edge Masters needs to go off for Berserk Ripping, sadly. We still need to keep our source of bleeding. What else? What else? What else? Think. Yeah, there's just nothing. Will I get Hex of Shattering? There's nothing that makes it look like they are currently hexed. That is what Hex of Shattering looks like, I think. They aren't hexed. Anything that says your witchcraft effect isn't working. I mean, even some of the things that say Eldritch, like this, like what the ones that specify, like the bleeding one. This says witchcraft. Like Shaken Soul. Doesn't, because this says your psyche and growth and decay damage apply vulnerable. But like, if my ulti is considered that. No, there's no way to make it work. It's sad, but it is what it is, I guess. Let me see what Wave of Woe looks like. Is it the thing that seems like it's being sucked from them to me? Wait a second. Holy, wait. How are they bleeding? How are they vulnerable? They are vulnerable. This one seems to bleed them. This one does fuck all. This one applies the vulnerable, but not the bleed. But then this applies bleeding. Why is this applying bleeding? This is a brawling skill. Why can that be? Why can that bleed? Because it's spreading Wave of Woe. It means it's spreading Wave of Woe. I do not understand why it is spreading Wave of Woe. That is so freaking weird. But I'm also guessing without Berserk Ripping, it's not gonna bleed. Yeah, Berserk Ripping is the reason it is bleeding. However, if I were to then use this instead of that, we're back to bleeding. So with this, and this, my brawling shouts unleashes wave of woe. But none of my other shouts do this, by the way. Wait, he just bled. You do it. But you don't? Oh, you don't do it. You do it. So this defensive does it, and this brawling does it. This affects enemies, taunt nearby enemies. So this affects enemies. This also affects enemies because it increases. Wait, so does that mean if it doesn't affect enemies, i.e. if I take the second upgrade out, this guy? No, it still does. It still affects it. Would this be because of this? You deal 100% while berserking, your direct damage dealt is converted into fire. I don't know if it has something to do with that. In any case, my shouts are triggering bleed, which means I can actually still swap this out in theory. So aside my shout, of course, you would still do it. Basically now, thanks to Wave of Woe, everything I do is causing them to bleed. Actually, I should take this off just to confirm. They aren't bleeding. They are not bleeding. You know, I suspect that my ulti is just not considered my skill. Because Wave of Woe says your skills launch Wave of Woe when they deal damage. So my Warcry is doing that. This one isn't. This one is as well. Everything else applies bleed. But my ulti does not. That is so weird. But it does mean I can use Edge Masters, and that should be a decent DPS boost. Because now I have other sources of bleeding. However, I still need to use Purging Touch, which is an Eldritch power. And with these, I'm on 3, so I can't really play around with these. Row is mandatory, Soul Harvest is kind of mandatory, Decay is kind of mandatory. So that leaves Wave of Woe, which is now mandatory. Shaking Soul is less mandatory, so we can drop Shaking Soul for Purging Touch, which would make our ulti do more damage, right? If I switch to Doom Orb will apply bleeding, right? Yeah, Doom Orb is the most steady source of bleeding. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Are the flowers automatically popping? Flower reacts and grows. Kills these surrounding enemies. Kills surrounding allies for this. But it's not causing them to bleed, it's just poisoning them. Bad. Doom Mob on the other hand will bleed them. Yeah, Doom Mob can also be a bleed applicator. Yeah, I think I might be using Doom Mob from now on, most likely. So now we have steady sources of bleed outside of here. We just need a source of vulnerable, which should then be exploit, I think, which would be for 3 seconds. But then the question I have for myself is, past those 3 seconds, how do I apply vulnerable? If I apply vulnerable. Yeah, the simple answer is I probably don't. I mean, I can deal without vulnerable for a bit, have exploit there. Problem with exploit is that it's literally a scaling vulnerable damage that's only available for 3 seconds, and then after that it's just tough luck. Because then I'd have to drop this guy. No, not this guy. This guy. No? Wait a second. No, they aren't vulnerable. Okay, so yeah, we did drop a vulnerable. In any case, I am tired as shit. I am off for the night. Thanks for stopping by. Like I said earlier, even this impromptu stream, kind of disappointed me, but I'll play around with it tomorrow. See you then.